I want to say something about that too, to getting conservatives really motivated here. For the reasons that you just spoke about, in politics, people are seeking one of two things: to impose their will on someone else, or to defend themselves from someone else imposing their will upon them. Which philosophy do you think that the left and progressives is engaging in? It's the one trying to impose things on people, control people. We talk about that all the time. On the conservative side, we're playing defense for a lot of reasons, one of which is we just like to have, from most of us would, we'd just like to have less government to deal with. We would like less intrusion. We would like government to matter less. But because we want government to matter less, politics must matter more to us.
Yep. If you're ever going to get involved, this is the best time to. There's an article I read today from Thomas Sowell in townhall.com. It's about local or national elections. And he shares a quote that says, "All politics is local." They said there are a few elections that are national, are a big enough issue that it affects the whole nation and affects the future. He talks about one being the election in 1860 and talking about how that was to get rid of slavery. It was an issue that the whole nation faced and everyone could come together on something like that. And he mentions that this midterm election is the same type of thing, that we have, if Obama controls the Senate, he will be able to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices, and it's a lifelong appointment.
And so numerous federal judges below the Supreme Court too. So
yeah, and we've already seen how he's willing to go around the traditional government, Congress and the Senate, with unilateral executive orders and word games that go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court is judging and kind of making law, legislating from the bench, instead of just enforcing what's there. And if he gets his way to appoint 3 more liberal judges, there's not going to be anything that's going to be able to stop them. Even if a conservative gets in, the Supreme Court can just overrule pretty much whatever they want, and they'd have a solid majority. So this is a very, very important time to get involved, to pay attention, and to let everyone know how important it is, so that we keep the system of government that we have set up, where there are checks and balances.
And he makes a few points in the it was a pretty short article, that because Obama understands so deeply what the stakes are, that's why he's spending so much time fundraising. And it doesn't bother him that the other candidates don't want him to campaign for them. He's fine with that. He will do his fundraising and make sure that the Democrats can continue to have their leftist agenda proceed, and it will outlast Barack Obama. And that means that I didn't even read Paul Krugman's article, but I read the headline where he says that Barack Obama is the most significant president we've ever had, or whatever, and people were laughing at that, but it's actually true, because Barack Obama has succeeded at what he wanted to do, and his impact will be felt for a very long time. It will be much harder to unwind what Barack Obama and his leftist progressives have done than it was to unwind what Ronald Reagan did. So in a sense, Krugman was right, and Barack Obama understands this. The left understands this, and they're always fighting, and they're always pushing their agenda via whatever candidate they have. They don't get as focused on the specifics of the candidates. They are very much more about their agenda, and they will attack our candidates, but they're almost always attacking our agenda. And we tend to defend our candidates and attack their candidates, and we tend to not attack their agenda, and we tend to not promote our agenda. So it's easy to see how, when I'm trying to put together advertising type of posts for particular candidates, what I end up seeing is that people on our own side, their comment is not, okay, great, I'm going to reshare that and advertise this Republican candidate. Their comment is about how this particular Republican candidate is less than ideal.
Supporters of Moms Demand Action have been saying that, hey, if you know somebody who open carries, if you know somebody who has a gun, then SWAT them.